3 more. Alamarade, if you can see.
Faster, mother.
Hello, Internet. I'm Ren, and I'm here to talk about Star Trek Lower Decks Season 4, Episode 3, in the Cradle of Vexilon. This episode has some great Easter eggs and some surprisingly huge character moments. It manages to squeeze 3 separate storylines into an under 30-minute runtime with relative success, while introducing us to a cool new society. So, let's get into it. Spoilers for Star Trek Lower Decks so far beyond this point. The Cerritos is visiting the Corazonia, an artificial ring-shaped world designed by now-extinct aliens. The planet's environmental systems are run by Vexilon, an ancient and sentient supercomputer left by the world's original inhabitants.
Totally normal for a planetary operating system to need some maintenance every once in a while.
No one's judging you.
Thank you. It's just embarrassing. I've been fine for millennia, but now I can't even control my monsoon season.
I love him. He's a good boy and means well. He and the Corazonians share a strong bond.
And we're sure we want to turn it back on? It's not like crushing the will of the locals or anything?
We love Vexilon!
They're buddies. We basically get an A-plot, a B-plot, and a C-plot. The A-plot is Captain Freeman dealing with Vexilon. The B-plot is Boimler's first mission as the commanding officer, which gives us some wonderful character moments for him. And we get a C-plot with Mariner, Rutherford, and Tendi being assigned a tedious task they suspect is a hazing ritual. In the A-plot, Vexilon is having weather problems.
The weather has become unpredictable. One minute it's blue skies, the next it's blizzard.
As well as some minor geological issues.
His geographic processes are faltering too. Just yesterday, one of our rivers reversed its flow and flooded a mountain.
The population is entirely artists and poets because all of their needs are met.
All artists and poets, but I've been so stressed. Just look at the terrible statues I made last week.
Dream Society, by the way, do you think they take Canadians? Please? I love the bit with Ransom criticizing the statues.
Yeesh, yeah, that's a pretty clumsy expression of form.
Those are our finest works. We're talking about those over there.
It's a fun character moment for him that adds a little more dimension while also making me laugh.
Just an amateur lack of focus and balance.
Ransom!
Tell us how you really feel, Jack.
Welcome to Corazonia, Captain. We appreciate Starfleet's help.
Freeman and Ransom meet Vexilon. He's a sweetie, but he hasn't been updated for quite some time.
When was my last update?
6,000,007 years ago.
Ah, that was a good year.
Captain Freeman takes it upon herself since she minored in archaic technology at the Academy.
I'm sure we can have you up and running in no time.
Captain, we have engineers who could...
Stand down, Jack. I minored in archaic technology back at the Academy. I think I've got this.
Vexilon worries the Cerritos was diverted from more important duties, but the captain reassures him they had another mission there anyways.
I hope this isn't taking you away from more important work.
Oh, not at all. We needed to stop in and retrofit the power relay Starfleet installed during first contact anyway.
Which transitions us to our B-plot.
I've got one of my lieutenants on that now.
In the B-plot, Boimler is psyching himself up to lead his first away mission in command.
No big deal. You've got this. You are boss, Boimler.
T'Lyn is along as well, and they are a fantastic pairing. Her measured reasonableness is a great contrast to Boimler's anxious energy.
Lieutenant Boimler.
What? Hi. Yes, T'Lyn?
Your team is waiting. Have you completed your confidence-boosting ritual?
Boimler is excited about his first mission.
All equipment is in adequate condition to accomplish our errand.
It's not an errand, it's a mission. My first mission as commander. It's pretty cool, right?
And he even uses a little command voice.
Ensigns, at attention. This is a cut-and-dry power terminal upgrade.
But he starts to worry about being a good boss, and T'Lyn tells him the mortality rate on missions is higher with a less experienced commander.
I've had good bosses and bad ones. I just don't want to repeat their mistakes.
Your caution is warranted. Statistically, ensigns serving under recently promoted commanders are more likely to experience death and/or dismemberment.
Oh, and we can't forget the and/or dismemberment.
Death?
Yes. And/or dismemberment.
Boimler is miraculously still not stressing until T'Lyn informs him that the components they are going to be working with are dangerously unstable.
Well, luckily this mission's pretty tame. It's just swapping out some terminals.
The retrofit must be conducted in precise order or the terminal will explode.
It's like disarming a building-sized bomb?
The similarity is not inaccurate.
Boimler's plot pretty much goes exactly as you'd expect, with him freaking out so much about the safety of the ensigns that he doesn't let them do anything.
All right, gang, who's ready to be careful?
And basically has to learn to let go. Back on the Cerritos, in our C-plot, we join Rutherford, Mariner, and Tendi as they check out the anomaly storage room.
The anomaly storage room?
Yep. Anything that requires further study or might need to be returned to its previous entity is kept right here.
aka the Easter egg room, which is full of all kinds of dangerous and wacky things, including the Beta Z gift box from TNG.
They just tend to pick up phrases they overhear.
Eat a bag of board, motherfucker!
It starts cursing, and this line from Tendi made me chuckle.
I didn't know that Dr. Ta'ana came in here.
They also find the Wadi Chula game from the infamous DS9 episode Move Along Home.
Elmarine, if you can see, Elmarine, you come with me. Elmarine,
Elmarine, count to 4. Elmarine, then 3 more. Elmarine, then 3 more.
And people complain about the musical episode, The Gall.
And everybody's like, lemon meringue.
Lieutenants Tendi, Mariner, and Rutherford report to the isolinear chip junction immediately.
Unfortunately, they're interrupted and summoned to the isolinear chip chamber.
I need you three to scan each and every one of these isolinear chips by hand.
What? But there are thousands of them!
Yeah.
They're tasked with scanning all the chips by hand, which is of course tedious and repetitive, made worse by a series of minor inconveniences.
This isn't so bad. Ooh, maybe we can sing a song?
Once an hour, the room fills with nitrogen coolant, so keep your breathers handy. The chips can get scalding hot, so watch out for that.
And a rogue ferret.
Oh, Philip's ferret got out this morning, so report to him if it bites you.
Mariner points out it feels like ensign work, and Tendi theorizes they're being hazed.
It doesn't make any sense. This is instant work. Maybe even cadet. On Orion, older pirates would haze new recruits by making them do worthless tasks like clean the door panels with their tongues.
Rutherford asks what hazing is, and I love Mariner's explanation because it is accurate.
Hazing us?
What's hazing?
It's a prank dressed up as team building that nobody really likes.
Rutherford doesn't think hazing is very Starfleet, and Tendi agrees, so they decide that just can't be what's going on.
Well, that doesn't sound very Starfleet.
Yeah, I gotta agree with Ruthie on this one. There is no way senior officers would haze a lieutenant.
You're right.
They think they're finally done, and then the commander reveals an entire second layer of chips they need to scan.
Sir, look, we've scanned every chip. They're all fine.
Every chip? Even the second layer?
The ferret continues to terrorize Rutherford.
Oh, Lancelot, leave me alone! I don't have any meat!
And they start to suspect hazing after all.
The hidden buttons seemed obvious. Oh, this is definitely hazing. So much for character.
Ouch! Yeah, I think you're right.
And develop a scheme to get back at Dirk.
Hey, how'd you deal with this kind of thing back on Orion?
Blindfolded saber fight.
Okay, I want to hear more about that, but I think I have a less stabby solution.
They set up a trap in Dirk's quarters to get revenge for the hazing involving the game from Deep Space Nine, but then they run into him in the hallway and he thanks them profusely for their help.
Oh, hey, done already?
Totally, my man.
No error chips, all good to go.
Oh, thank God. Those isolinear chips run some of the most important systems on the ship. If one fails, it could be fatal. Thank you so much for taking that on. I really appreciate it.
And reveals he couldn't do it himself because of his dark history with the Chula game.
When I was a kid, I got trapped in one for a month. I can't go near the anomaly room without having a panic attack because one of those games is on the ship. I should have helped you today.
Mariner distracts him.
You know, maybe, would it cheer you up to talk about that music that you like so much?
Tellurite slop jazz?
Yes, yes, that's it. Okay, you've rambled about that at length before. Go fix it.
While Tendi hurries to finish scanning the chips, and Rutherford runs to dismantle the trap. Tendi frantically scans the chips and finds the damaged ones, and Rutherford ends up trapped in the game, but he manages to make it out and disassemble the trap just in the nick of time. Back in the A-plot, Captain Freeman is attempting to update Vexilon, but things go horribly awry.
Hang tight. I'll get you caught up with this update, and it should clear things right up.
Thank you, Captain. You saved us.
It'll be nice to get back to my old helpful self after.
Like, the clouds are falling out of the sky, stuff is not going well. Freeman summons Billups for help, but things continue to escalate as the planet essentially resets to the time of creation with volcanoes and primordial ooze.
I am Vexilon. Welcome to your new world. I will now regenesis installation to default settings. Initiating fjords, distributing miasma, stirring primordial ooze.
In the B-plot, Boimler is desperately trying to keep everyone safe with the climate woes and the unstable components.
All right, gang, just remember the name of the game is safety.
But he's micromanaging every little thing.
Taylor, what are you doing?
I'm reaching for the first clamp.
Love the initiative, but your angle is all off. I need 90 degrees, not 80.
He's not exactly acting hinged, you know what I mean?
Then you rotate the old cylinder until you feel the lash disengage, at which point you carefully remove it. Now, it's very important to keep it upright and lift with your knees, not your back, because you really don't want back pain, and that's gonna...
Boimler removes literally all of the cylinders without letting the ensigns do anything. Captain Freeman then lets Boimler know they need to reset the retrofit and put all the cylinders back so they can reboot the system.
Or Vexilon can force a restart if we reroute its primary power to your station.
But the station's outdated.
We have to get this done before the anaerobic bacteria is dispersed.
No problem. Just gonna quickly undo all the work I just did.
Boimler tries to do it all himself again, but it turns out he actually is just dealing with imposter syndrome and feels weird about giving commands to people he was equal rank with just days ago.
Last week I was an ensign with them, and now, randomly, I'm supposed to tell them what to do? What gives me the right to put my peers in a position where they could die?
T'Lyn gives him a surprisingly good pep talk.
Your promotion was not random. I studied your records and mission logs before our departure. The commander was correct to promote you. Your work is exemplary. Look at your team. They deserve your trust.
And Boimler learns to trust his crew, and they all spring into action.
Everybody up! We've worked together for years. I trust you. Big Merp, you're with me. We're unloading the transport. Taylor and Meredith, plan the terminal and get those power cylinders reattached. Nobody's exploding today.
Yes, sir! The reboot is complete, and Boimler sends the ensigns out and manages to buy Captain Freeman just enough time before shutting down the system.
Almost done! I need more time!
Everyone out of here!
No, we can help!
Ensign, the lieutenant gave you an order.
Okay, almost. There! Return assist is deactivating!
But not enough time to avoid the explosion that kills him and yeets his corpse.
The Lieutenant Junior Grade First Mission mortality rate appears to be accurate.
My jaw dropped. I was definitely not expecting that. I knew he wasn't going to stay dead, of course, but I was genuinely shocked he died at all. We see Boimler in the afterlife where he meets the koala.
Hi?
Get it off! Get it off me!
It all seems quite sinister, before Dr. Ta'ana manages to bring him back. That definitely has some interesting potential as an ongoing arc for Boimler while he comes to terms with returning from the dead, and likely a new appreciation for the danger that being a Starfleet officer poses. But the question is, can he handle even more anxiety? Guy's default setting is so high.
Well done, Mr. Boimler. You never forget your first death. Only more and more dangerous missions from here on out.
Oh, come on! I just revived him. Everybody out! Give me 30 cc's of whatever just worked a minute ago.
Back aboard the Cerritos, Tendi, Rutherford, and Mariner agree they shouldn't have suspected Dirk of hazing them.
Ugh, I feel silly thinking a Starfleet officer would ever haze someone. Sorry I ever brought it up.
Next time, we assume the best in people.
Hear, hear!
And we cut to a scene with Dirk and Ransom in the mess hall that reveals they were totally hazing them to wrap up the episode.
They bought the Waddy game story, huh?
Oh, yeah. Told him I was stuck in there for a month.
Hey, little guy.
Go get Rutherford.
Oh, new lieutenants give me life.
And we don't get any more answers about the ship exploding device that we saw in the first 2 episodes. So I guess we'll just have to keep waiting on that. Overall, this episode was pretty good. I really liked the concept of the ring-shaped artificial world, and I loved Boimler's character development and the interesting angle they chose for how to explore his experience adapting to being in command. And I'm excited to see where they take his character this season. I think my 2 main criticisms of this episode are first that the hazing does actually seem out of character for Starfleet, although I still really enjoyed that plot and all the little references they snuck in there. And second, it seems a bit weird that Captain Freeman would biff it so hard on updating the computer.
Just activate it. There. That got rid of the stalled updates.
Captain, are you sure this is safe mode and not a full reboot?
It is forgivable for how fun this weird little alien IT subplot was, though. It's also great that we have an episode with a supercomputer, but he's like wholesome and good.
Megastructure. What happened? Oh no, did I shut down? Oh, I'm a terrible host.
What an adorable way to subvert expectations for this kind of episode. I also think it felt a little crowded with the time it tried to give each of its subplots, but I enjoyed all of them, so I'm not really mad about it. Once again, Lower Decks has managed to balance its role as a cartoon parody with telling stories with heart about characters that we love. And they also managed to slip in a surprising amount of references while mostly justifying them, and I think that's really impressive. All right, that is all I have for now because it's been a very busy week and I am basically a corpse myself. But let me know what you thought about this episode in the comment section down below. How do you think they're going to handle Boimler's return from the dead long term? I don't even think Mariner has actually died at all despite all of the things that she's been through, so this feels huge for the Ritos gang. But anyways, like, share, and subscribe for more videos. See you next time. Wiedersehen.